Hey everyone, Zen Ryder here. Time to go for a ride for a double marathon. That's right, a marathon's pretty long, but we're talking two. Over 50 miles. We're going to start out at Rice Stadium. Here's a view looking towards Houston. You can see there.
We're taking off on a double marathon if we can do that much. We'll see how much we get done. As long as we don't crash. That is the plan.
So we set off parking right here by Rice Stadium. It's one of the places you can get free parking in the area. And this is a view looking up over Rice Stadium, and this is looking towards the west, I want to say. And it's actually turning towards the south. That is where there's the Brays Bayou. And this shows on the map where we actually headed down south, crossed a few streets, and there we're getting on the bayou right there. And as you can see, as you cruise along, there's actually paths on both sides of the bayou. You kind of have to figure out which side you want to go on, and sometimes there's better ways on one side than the other. And so here we are, we're choosing to cross over at this point and go on the other side for a while. I always love bridges and cruising over them because it gives you a different perspective, and usually try to take some video going over these things, but we heading out and get cruising. And joining me here today is Adrian. Adrian's the founder of the Houston E-Wheelers back in the day, so he's a longtime veteran and so of the EUCs, and so he's riding a Monster. I think it's a Monster 3 or 2, but it's doing very well for him, and he actually is kind of the king of seated riding, as you're going to see in a little bit. But we're debating sometimes on which side of the road we're going to go, but then we just keep cruising, and it's definitely a lot of trails that we're going to hit today, and it's a kind of cool morning out, but we were enjoying it. Adrian's showing off some of the seated riding skills. He's kind of a pro at that. He's comfortable riding that way, which is awesome. I'm more of a threading the bicyclist. I'm more of a standing guy, but maybe that has to do with the Sherman seat I've got. It's not the best because it makes you put your weight kind of further back, but I do enjoy more of the gliding standing. So, but who knows? Maybe I'll get a better seat later. But anyway, for now, I think I did most of this ride standing. Probably maybe 2 hours or plus riding time, maybe 3 hours of the total time, but I'll start getting tired after that. Definitely, if you're going to go a long distance, a seat really does help out. Brays Bayou here in Houston is one of the longest stretches of pavement, paved bike paths that I'm aware of in the area. There's a few other runners up, but Brays Bayou really goes the distance, and I'm going to use some maps to show you that a little bit, but in terms of smooth bike trails, just for miles and miles, this is a great spot for that. I'm recording video with the 61R. I like the ability to capture footage from the side, the front, the back, over the shoulder, whatever works, but I like giving viewers kind of the experience of if you're along for the ride, and I feel that gives you the best view that you can see. So using this app here I created, it's a little different than the Relive. You can see as we're cruising along the bayou, and we switch over sides back and forth a couple times, but we came up to this one spot where they had a really nice new trail that took off to the left, and so we cruised down it thinking, hey, maybe it'll connect over, we'll try to cross, but it didn't, so we had to come all the way back and get back on the trail. And then you'll see we go under these two highways here. I want to say the 59 or the 8, but boy, it was so sketchy. I don't really recommend going under that in the future. I'm going to stop before we get there and then turn around, because yeah, they're just a bunch of guys under the bridge, and it just I don't know. Adrian had his I don't know, bear repellent or something, but I think it would have been a better idea not to do that. I didn't take any footage though, because I didn't want to have something else out that people might want to steal. So anyway, back to the bridges. as we get back onto the bayou, we came back the way we went. One thing to watch in this map footage is in the upper right corner, it shows you the distance that we're at. And it's about 16 miles out, going under the power lines here, coming back. Always a fun view. And so then I think it wound up for the southwestern portion of the bayou being about 32 miles as we get all the way back up to Rice Stadium where the turnoff was. And then we head back, then we start going up to the east side of the trail. But lots of fun, nice places to ride out here. There's a lot of other people on the path, but definitely a great day out. You do want to be a little careful, as with if you're on one of these EUCs, all it takes is a little slip to the side and that thing's going in the water, and electronics aren't going to do too well there, so I'm usually pretty careful about that. So now as you see, we're going back the way we came. I think that was a little bathroom stop or something. So and we kept going, and we crossed over in a few places onto the other side just for a little variety in the trail. See right there, we broke to the right and followed, and a lot of the paved is on both sides of the bayou. On these big long stretches, you can really kind of get into a nice little tuck and get your speed up. It definitely is fun. You're flying along here faster than bikes can go, and somewhere in the 25-30 mile an hour range. It's nice because Adrian's got that speed too. He can definitely hang with that. We were enjoying just cruising through the tunnels when there's not a lot of people out. You can get cruising, and it's fun to cruise all along these areas out here. I really enjoyed it. Here's another little area where coming up you get to go under a train. Not often you get to do that, although there's a spot also up by Buffalo Bayou where you go under a train also. Now we're coming up to the end of Brays Bayou as far as we can go. We hit the end where the construction is, and it blocks you from going all the way to the Mason Park. So you'll see as it shows along here along the map, we're coming up, we pass where we went off. If you look in the mileage, let's see, we're at 34 miles there, so 32 is where we went back to Rice Stadium area, 35 miles, and now as we do a lot of curving around, but then we hit, at the end, we hit the construction, and it's pretty hard to get through there. You've got to go way over on the streets, and you can meet up at the end, but it's kind of a lot of detour for not that much trail left. So we went as far as we could go up there, and then we turned around and came back. And as we were heading back, Adrian had this idea to go by this park called Smithers Park, and so I'm going to show you that in just a second, but I appreciated him having that idea so that we could take a little detour on it. So as we're coming back now, we went off to the side, and we went down, I don't know, some side street. And right here you'll see us just kind of cruise around in the park. Well, this is the park. And they have all these mosaics of embedded glass. And this is some kind of crazy half dome thing that they have going on, but really wild. Very artistic and beautiful in many ways. And this is, I guess people perform here or something. I'm not exactly sure, but all I know is it was impressive, and it was neat to see so much of the hand-laid artwork and mosaics that they had put together. Even while we were here, there was a gal working on it, and we saw her kind of doing her thing. And it's kind of hard to capture all of the crazy stuff that they have here, but it's wild, and they're always working on it, I guess. So anyway, I'm really glad we came by here to check this out. There were some families just checking it out, but very interesting stuff you're not going to see everywhere. So Smithers, to go by. Recommend it. Guess that's a good little lunch spot. But I am glad we stopped to check it out and continued on our way to get back on our journey. The sun was coming out for a while, and I liked that. You know, I really like the TSG Pass helmet for when you're going fast. It's nice to have a full face shield helmet that kind of keeps that air off of you. You can do it with goggles or other things, but I definitely like, do that. You can still pop open the visor for some fresh air, but it's nice having that protection, and it's very comfortable. It's definitely my favorite helmet. In the summertime, when it gets really hot, I kind of have to go with the mountain bike style helmet. I've got a Troy Lee Designs that I like. It gives me lots of airflow, which in the summertime you got it here in the Houston heat and humidity. I'll run that one pretty soon. There's some other nice bridges here. This one has a really cool loop that goes around to the left, but as you can see, that construction there on the left, they had it all blocked off, so we kind of had to cross over in the street and get back onto the path. This is McGregor Park up here we were passing, and although it's a good location, it has a lot of parking, it's kind of a sketchy place with a lot of kind of homeless and looks like some crime there, so we end up not parking there for our rides and choosing elsewhere. Seeing some of the reflective tape on my backpack and helmet there, and during daytime rides, of course, but it still helps your visibility, especially on nighttime rides, so I like that. Help keeping the visibility, so cars or anybody else, when you are on the roads, it's pretty important to have. We're almost back to the Herman Park section and coming up here on the Bill Coates Bridge. It's about 300 feet across. It's a pedestrian bridge, and it's one of my favorite ones out here to cross over under checkout. And right under here is an area where you go up into the zoo area and by Herman Park. But beautiful area, that's for sure. Always enjoy cruising around here. So we then took a right to then get back up around through Herman Park. Kind of thought it was a nice little monument there. We cruised around that. But then we kind of go through the park and under a lot of the foliage up here, and it's definitely a beautiful park. And you'll see on the map here as we're coming back, and you'll see we crossed over, that was a different bridge, and then as we come back, we're on the right side of the bridge there, but we go ahead and go up and then come through town a little bit and go around through the park area and then through Rice University. And that kind of has some nice scenic areas to it too. I really like these trees. I mean, talk about a canopy over your head of green. I mean, it's crazy. These trunks just go up and just spread over. It's just beautiful. I was amazed at the trees all the way through here. And it's not just one area, it's all the way through. It's very beautiful. So we just took to cruising through the campus a little bit. I liked following Adrian. He really knows his way around some of these. It was nice as he cruised through the campus, pointed out various spots through here, and again, man, just look at those trees. It's crazy beautiful. So this is kind of in the home stretch here as we go down through some of the campus buildings, and then we get back over to the stadium area and where we parked. So this is the last little bit, but I have some drone footage at the end, so stay for that. As I flew the drone up just next to the stadium. I was gonna go higher, and I think because of the area that was in it forced me to land, so I'm not sure what that was about. But anyway, here's Adrian at the end of the long ride. We were definitely feeling like we've been out there for quite a while, and it was nice getting back to the parking lot. And you know, you're at the end of the ride, but it's good. Got some sun. The weather kind of turned nicer than we were expecting, so I really enjoyed that. And there's the stadium, which we parked next to. We're about to go up. So anyway, if you ever get a chance to ride along Brays Bayou, great place to ride and check it out. So glad you could make it. And as we're signing off, make sure to like and subscribe. I'd love to have you. You can get notified the next time I put out a video, and you'll be right there for it. You'll get notified. So go ahead and hit that bell button. Appreciate that. And we'll talk to you soon. Join us next time. Take care.